So, welcome everybody. This is IW well, we all know who we are. As This is the International Women's Florida Suncoast chapter. Jim, you don't know who we all are, but I will say we are a pretty impressive group of ladies. And well, he's got some inside information on that one. But today's talk is everyday AI, but we're going to take this a little further. And Jim is the founder of a company called Shift Happens. I've known Jim for a number of years. He's probably one of the most interesting, creative, outside or inside the box type of thinker. I think he's really more outside of the box. He says think inside the box, but no, he's really outside of the box and has done some pretty amazing things with AI for business. I mean, I'd say everyday average, I wouldn't say average business. We're not talking saving the world with a new gene type. We're talking about the kinds of programs and products that we would use the AI tools for today. With that, I wanted to share one example of a product or program that Jim has created using a more advanced form of AI. And that's a tool that I've been impressed with that's called AI Stage Finder, where he's been able to basically scrape the internet and look at all the speaking opportunities around the country. This is just in the US alone, and customize it for any particular speaker so that they can go out with one flash and figure out which programs or which stages they want to speak on and how to put the RFPs together. The whole program actually puts the RFP together to pitch the speaker and including all the follow-up emails, which of course AI can sound a little awkward. We want to put our own spin on, but this tool is really, I've been impressed. And it's something that was created with AI. So I thought you should all know about that. That it's not just writing emails that are out there. So with that, Jim, I will let you take the stage. And maybe at some point I should show something made with AI of me eating a bug. But we'll do that later at the end. People ask, is that really you? No, I did not eat a cockroach, but it looked pretty good. So, Jim, take it away.
Hello, ladies. Thanks for coming. This is going to be a discussion. This is not a talking head. This is not a lecture. This is intended to be interactive and to provide you with benefit for your time here together. So the first thing that I want to do is explain why the AI sauce. Recently, a very well-known person was being interviewed, and it kept saying we should be teaching A1 in all the school systems, and kept talking about A1 and not getting it correct. And I thought, well, I'm just going to make an AI sauce label. And it just took off. I mean, people went, why'd you do that? And I said, well, originally I did it just to make a parody. But you know what? I've come up with a reason for it. And here's what it is. The number one condiment after ketchup in the United States happens to be A1 steak sauce. People put it on hamburgers, put it on eggs, put it on chicken, put it on everything. A little A1 enhances things. A lot of A1 ruins it. And so if we think about the AI sauce, it's literally the same. A little dab will do you. It is intended to enhance things, but not bury things. So I'm somebody that believes in a very simple premise. I don't care about going under the hood. I don't care about how it works. I don't know how to code anything. All I want to do is establish the end results and figure out the path or the tool to get me there. Right now, there are over 100,000 AI tools. It's like trying to get a glass of water from a fire hose. It's next to impossible. So the first thing I would say to you is establish the end result first. What is it that you're trying to accomplish? And then let's find the tool or the tools that accomplish that. The more focused the tool, the more you need multiple tools. And you will hear the term stacking. And I'm going to explain that. But just to clarify where we are, I'm going to share with you an interactive screen. This is once again AI, and it's kind of fun. So you can now see a map. In the chat, just type in where you are. I assume most of you are in Florida by the nature of the group, but if you could put in your city or you can put in where you're at, it will start to populate into the map, and you can see it happening in real time. So, Sarasota, Fort Myers. How many times have you gone onto a Zoom call where people are rattling it off and you can't figure it out? You keep track of it. But now we see where people are located. We see St. Petersburg, etc. Again, it's interactive. It allows the audience to get involved in the conversation. So with that, I'm going to ask a couple of questions, and I didn't mean to step on Nancy's question, but the question would be, in one word, what about AI intrigues you? And just put that word into the chat and hit return. And somebody came in with possibilities, problem solving. So it starts to build a word cloud. And what it does without looking at who said it or why someone said it, it starts to give us an idea of the diversity of what you're trying to accomplish with AI. So the first thing about AI is one size does not fit all. There are tools that do a lot of things and a lot of tools that do one thing better than the tool that do a lot of things. And so often it's like deciding if you want a general response or you want a specific response. And we're going to talk about that in a moment. So here's a chance for you to just type a short sentence about how is it transforming your business, whether you're a leader of an organization, whether it's personal, whether it's with your family. Just put in a couple of things that kind of talks about what it is that's making AI work for you and why it's working for you. And then put it in the chat and then just hit the return button. Now, as they start to float down, I call it the waterfall effect. Look once again, you guys aren't collaborating with one another, but notice that we haven't had any duplication. Okay, efficiency saves time, research, brainstorming. Once again, here's a group. All of you have a different need or an immediate want for AI, which then makes it difficult or it makes it an opportunity for the speaker to start to address it. So, what's been the most impactful way that AI has affected your business? For instance, is it helping you run your business better? Are you using it to write emails? Are you using it for research? I find for me, and probably embarrassingly so, I'm using AI 12 to 14 hours a day because I will be walking around and go, you know what? I need to figure out what to do with the vegetables I found in the freezer. I need to figure out what I'm going to go on my shopping list. I need to see what's the latest new AI tool and why are people talking about it, etc. So if you're thinking about AI, you need to do two things. Number one, start thinking that it's not intelligent. It's not. It's a tool that scrubs what's out on the internet. And newsflash, not everything on the internet is factual. So the first thing I tell everybody is trust but verify. A new word made it into the dictionary. It's called hallucinations. That AI picks up 3 or 4 different things, combines them, and comes up with something that doesn't make sense. And if you ever want to see how that works, try putting into ChatGPT or another search engine your own profile. And you will find out in many of these cases that you are a 7 foot tall African American male basketball player. And I'm not sure that anybody here fits that model, but it will come out with a very convincing way of telling you that. If you think about how you're going to use this tool, think of it as an assistant. I have named my assistant Mr. Spock because it was only logical. And I talk to Mr. Spock, and Mr. Spock now talks to me. I think of it as someone who's sitting next to me as my assistant. So here's the first question that Nancy was asking, and that was, do you find AI useful? We're not saying how you're using it, but overall, are you using it and finding it useful? Because a lot of people are afraid of it. A lot of people don't use it properly. And I'm not going to put this up to embarrass anybody. I would assume that most of you are using ChatGPT. How many of you are paying the $20 for ChatGPT? Just nod. I got 1, 2. Okay, 3. So 3 out of 10 are paying the $20. Second newsflash, the difference between the free and the $20 is walking and riding in a Porsche Turbo Cabriolet. Spend the $20, try it for 1 month, and be blown away by it. Now, before you do that, I'm going to have some other suggestions for your $20. I don't make any money from this. I'm just telling you it's the best $20 you can spend if you want to see what AI can really do for you. So we've got roughly a split here. Average was 3.9 from this group, and the 4 and 5 was split evenly.
And
Yes, question? Someone have a question? No? Okay. All right. So I'm going to exit this session, and I'm going to start this with a couple of questions. And that is this. If at the end of the day, you could have an AI tool do something for you, whether it's business or in your personal life, write it down. Don't say it to anybody, but just write it down. The one thing that you would like AI to do, and that doesn't mean walk the dog or do the dishes. It's got to be something that it's actually capable of doing. But with that, we're going to start to talk about AI and the AI tools. And I just want to make sure that everybody can see the screen. Yes? Nancy, we good? Okay. I'm going to focus on 2 tools. One you may have heard of and one you probably have never heard of. Perplexity and Magi. That's not to say I'm not going to talk about other tools and I'm not going to talk about other things, but let me help you with this presentation. At the end of it, I'm going to ask you to rate my conversation. Did you like it? Was it effective? Did you learn things from it? And for those of you that liked it, I'm going to give you a 10-page handout with all the links, all the tools, and all the goodies so that you don't have to be writing it down. And for those of you that fill it out, within that, you can send me a message and say, Jim, can you send me a copy of this presentation? And so it takes away the angst of trying to keep up because I'm going to cover a lot in a relatively short period of time. And I'm going to give it all to you so that you can digest it in what I refer to as snackables. And snackables work really well with a little AI sauce. It's not what you think, but how you think about AI that makes the difference. AI is in everyday life. It's that simple. It's the fact. There's nothing we can do about it. It's here. If you're waiting for it to be popular or get people involved in it, that train is leaving the station and you need to decide if you're on it or not. So ask yourself, are you different? And if you're different, how can you tell that to your customers, your clients, your friends, your family? What breaks the pattern for you to make you different? And the question is very simple. What are you going to do differently tomorrow that'll get you better results than you got today? That is a real thought-provoking question because we all should wake up with that every single day. We have a limited time where we can be productive, where we can be lucid, where we can influence others, and you should focus on what are the end results and how am I impacting my life, other people's lives, my business, my customers, etc. So 3 things. Number 1, it's not a fad. It's here to stay. It's revolutionary. It has been compared to things like electricity, like the internet, like water, like air. And a lot of people think it does a very limited number of things, and that's not true. It does a lot. You just have to ask it. So let's go back to I'm hiring an assistant. That assistant gets hired because that assistant came to you with 22 college degrees, speaks 50 languages, has written 1,000 papers, never run a business, never had to make a decision, never going to ask for a raise, available 24/7, takes criticism and learns from it, but doesn't check its own work. That's your AI tool. Today, I'm going to focus on marketing. It could focus on productivity. We could focus on writing. We could focus on music. We could focus on poetry writing. We could focus on painting. Each one of those is a specific outcome, but I thought marketing would have the broadest approach to this group. It's like a hamburger. Think about going to 4 different places for a hamburger. White Castle, which was a slider, and most people that had a White Castle found them at midnight after they'd been out drinking or partying, versus going into Las Vegas where the hamburger could be $25 to $50. What makes the difference? The difference is the stacking. So if the hamburger is the core AI model and the bun is what holds the hamburger so you can pick it up, everything in between enhances the hamburger. And that's an AI stack. You are coming up with the hamburger. In that case, it's a ChatGPT or Gemini or Copilot or Claude, whatever the tool is. And now you're layering other things to make it work better. And you're holding them all together by the platform. And in this case, the platform is whatever natural language model they're using. It's called an LLM or an NLM, language learning model. It learns. So I'm teaching Mr. Spock about me, about my business, what he's done right, what he's done wrong, and each time he gets better and better. The same thing happens when you go to your favorite restaurant and they go, "Oh, Nancy, you must be here for the double cheeseburger with the Gouda cheese, the grilled onions, and the pretzel bun." You don't even need a menu. That's the way we learn. And so while Nancy says, I think outside the box, I prefer to think inside the bun and bring a little AI sauce along with me. So if we look at the concepts, and the concepts are growth, networking relationships, data insights, and strategic planning, I've just given you 4 things that by itself could occupy your new assistant for the next year. So you don't want to overwhelm your assistant. Pick a lane, pick something that is actionable that they can complete, and then move on. So let's look at this one at a time. 73% of all marketers are using AI. If you are not using AI in your business, I promise you your competition is. If you are ignoring it, you need to give it some time and attention, or you won't be able to catch up. It's at the very minimum a 2.5 times faster strategy. At the very minimum, it speeds things up. It gives you clarity. And there's always a question that I ask, and you may want to write this down the next time you're using any of your AI tools. What is it that I have not asked you that I should be asking you to get a better answer? Now I'm using AI to evaluate AI for my outcome. Mr. Spock, you've now done all this homework. You gave me what I asked for. But as you did this, what did I not ask you that I should have asked you, but you've learned the answer to that can help me? And that gives you an accuracy that typically you cannot get on your own, because AI-driven assets, insights, conversations become much more precise and much more laser focused. So here's a screen, and you will see something rolling across it. And I go, okay, did you get that? Did that resonate with you? And the answer is, Jim, I can't see it fast enough. That's the speed of AI. AI just gave you the answer to all my questions, but it came so fast it was like that fire hose. Instead, I stopped it. And I said, this is how you can build your signature voice. These are 4 tools. Remember, I'm going to give you all the links to this, so don't worry about it. You may want to take a screenshot of it. But here's 4 tools that don't replace what you do. They amplify what you do across various touch points. If you are using ChatGPT and you are not paying the $20, don't have another $20 hamburger, don't have another $9 Starbucks. Give up one a week and it'll pay for itself, because there's no ROI on Starbucks and there's a huge ROI on ChatGPT. What does it do for you? Helps you stand out, helps you think smarter, and helps you get results. Who doesn't want that? And what if you could do that working less time or working more productively? I have a business associate that doesn't work on Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. He told me this week he's thinking of not working on Thursdays. Why? Because he's been able to leverage and harness the power of AI to do what he was doing in 6 days a week, and he's now taken the 3 days off. He is as productive. His business is doing as well. He just has figured out how to free up some time using AI. So I said to you before, I'm going to say it to you again. It's not a fad. It goes beyond tasks, and it provides a foundation. Now, I repeated this because, as they always say it again, and remind everybody what you said. So here's a strategy. Analyze your business using the tools. Set an objective. Think of it as a pilot. A pilot gets on a plane and he doesn't look out, or she look out the window and say, oh, it's sunny over there. That's where we're going to head out. They have a flight plan. And the flight plan has alternate routes and what ifs. You need the same in your business. We all run into the what if. What are we going to do differently tomorrow that gets us better results than yesterday? And do we understand our audience? Have we talked to our audience? Have we gotten feedback from our audience? The center of gravity of your business is where the customer gives you money. If you're in a nonprofit, remember it's still a business. Nonprofit is a tax status, not a business model. And if your audience is not responding to what you offer, my suggestion is you stop trying to sell your big ideas to small-minded people. You're wasting your time. Stop trying to do the impossible for the ungrateful. Sometimes we don't listen to the customer who's sitting there with their arms folded saying, you can't make me. You know what? That's not your job anymore. Figure out what your advantage is. Identify yourself and say, this is what I do. This is what people should look to me for. What do? I'm a single source problem solver. I deliver certainty in an uncertain world. Whoa. Jim, can you prove that? I've got thousands of examples. Well, can you tell me some of your clients? I can give you hundreds of my clients. That's a pretty audacious claim. If I make that claim, in the back of your mind, I think it's fair to say he must be expensive. You certainly don't think, I see Kate nodding. So Kate, you think you can hire me for a couple of bucks an hour? No. You see what I've done without pricing myself? I've set myself out by saying, I help revitalize. I help reinvigorate. I help reimagine your future at the intersection of innovation, customer engagement, and performance management. Period. And I have done it and can prove that I do it over and over and over. So for you, and I suggest all of us do this, and I do it, frankly, every quarter. What are my strengths? Because as I've gotten better with AI and I understand more about AI, I've become more and more unique because I focus on the outcome and not the tool. A lot of people talk about AI. In fact, everybody that can spell it is now an expert. I don't believe there is such a thing as an AI expert because it's changing so rapidly. And if somebody claims they're an AI expert, I'd love to meet that person because I don't think that person exists. That's just me. What are my weaknesses? I used to spend a lot of time focusing on weaknesses. And then I asked AI to pinpoint my inefficiencies. I uploaded my books, I uploaded my LinkedIn, and it came back and said, you know, compared to your competitors, you're way up here and you're not charging enough. And we think you should move this up or move this down. Well, guess what? It's easier to move this up than me to come down. So even though I was looking for an evaluation of what I do wrong, AI, rightly or wrongly, came back with several searches saying, you're doing a lot of things right because here's what people are saying about you. Here's what your customers feel about you. This is what is going on. So then I said, well, given that, what are my opportunities? And it came back to me and it said, you need to refocus on international markets because you will get more money and you have less competition. Well, let me see. Do I want to go to Boise, Idaho, or would I like to go to Paris? Or would I like to go to Hong Kong? Listen, I have a bag that's packed. I'm ready to go tomorrow. So for me, Mr. Spock came back and said, you got a lot of competition in what you do, whether they do it the same or they do it better or they do it worse. Take what you do and become an international expert where they're already prepared to pay more money and fly you out there and treat you differently and really want you to be more engaged in what they're doing. And what are the threats? The threats are very simple. Can you get on a plane? Are you nimble? Are you quick? Do you speak other languages? Well, it used to be that I was trying to learn other languages, and then I found AI tools that would translate it for me in real time. In real time, I can hold my phone up, listen to somebody speaking to me in Portuguese or Mandarin, and it'll give it back to me in English. I can respond in English, and it'll talk back to them in Mandarin or Portuguese. Why do I need to waste my time learning this language? Okay, it's a challenge. Yes, if I was 15 years old or 20 years old, maybe I want to do that, but I would like to spend my time doing other things. So establish your clear objectives. Target where you want to end up. And get data that's relevant to who you are. Remember, I uploaded my own data so that it could evaluate who I am, and I got the good, the bad, and the ugly. So if you're doing this with SWOT, you can review the data. You can once again refine the data, and you'll notice at the bottom, I gave you a prompt. Let me go back to that prompt because I want you to look at it. A prompt is your instructions to Mr. Spock. Summarize the core strengths and weaknesses identified from the provided data. What are the top 3 emerging opportunities and threats? That's an actionable prompt. That's the way you talk to AI. And then I said, based on the identified weaknesses, what strengths can I develop for improvement? And how do I mitigate that problem? And then I asked for an action plan. I said, give me a report to tell me what to do and put it into a timeline and do it for the next 12 months. And it broke it down first month, first quarter, second quarter, etc., all in AI. I would have never been able to do that in a matter of an hour as opposed to a month. So then I started to define my objectives, being very specific, being very measurable, being very achievable, and very relevant. Once again, this entire deck is going to be made available to you. So don't worry that you're not catching all of it as I go through it, because I want to give you a lot of information in a short period of time. So who's my primary market, right? These are the customers that are looking for me and want to do business. Who's my secondary market? Are they bringing somebody along? Can they recommend me to someone else? Who is on the outer edges that doesn't know what I do and is willing to pay for it? And maybe somebody that got recommended from the primary market or the secondary market. And then how do I address the entire market at one time? And so those things might be, you do a newsletter, you become more active in LinkedIn, you join Facebook, you join Twitter, you join networking groups, because there's more like-minded people within the group that you could target. So in doing so, I create an ideal profile, right? Who is that person or company? What is the demographics? In other words, who do they serve? Who are their customers? How do I come to them and solve their problem with my solution? When I talk to Mr. Spock and we're talking about my customer, I have a very simple question. Whatever it is that I'm saying, in the back of their mind, they're going, what's in it for me? WIIFM. What's in it for me? If I can answer that question, pricing becomes less relevant. What's the need? What's the pain? What problem can I solve? And after I've done all that, then I come all the way back and I go, how many more customers are within this marketplace? So if I have a target audience, let's say, of tourism, every city, every state, and every country have tourism departments. Yes, believe it or not, Chillicothe, Illinois has a tourism department. Boise, Idaho has a tourism and convention bureau. That market is huge. Now, the question becomes, are they using AI? Are they receptive to AI? Do they have a budget to spend with me? So instead, I go, where are the biggest opportunities? And it starts coming out with countries outside the United States or major markets like Orlando, San Francisco, Chicago, etc. I create the persona, I analyze the behavior, I identify the trend, and I define the target parameters. Once again, 4 steps. Create the persona, analyze that persona, make sure that they're in the industry that I'm targeting and where my expertise can be applicable, and then refine that. Apply this to your business. Here's a prompt. You may want to take a screenshot. Again, I'm going to give it to you. This is the prompt to create your own SWOT analysis. You put that into ChatGPT or Perplexity or whatever you're using, and that's the question that you're asking to create your SWOT analysis. Okay? Then my favorite one is put in my competitors. Identify, now that you know who I am and what I do, identify my competitors. What are they doing better? What can I learn from them? What gaps between what they do and what I do can I fill? And then I look at the customer and say, based on everything you just saw, who's my customer? And they will describe my customer. Your customer is in this age group, in this demographic group, in this geographic area, in this education, in this kind of income. And then I can start to refine it using these prompts. Now, here's a secret for you guys. Once you start this conversation, stay in this conversation. Do not open up a new document. Do not start a new chat. That's the only way these tools can learn from you. So if you started with the first one, second one, third one, fourth one, it is building in what? An AI stack, similar to the hamburger. And then let's go find all these people. And let's put the keywords into my website. Let's put the keywords into my blog. Let's put the keywords into my TikTok, my Facebook, my Twitter, whatever it is you're using. So that those words are what my audience is searching. And then you get to the content. Most of the people I talk to start with the content first and then can't figure out why it's not working. The content will write itself if you've done these steps with you and Mr. Spock walking through the stack that we've created. So here's a product you may have never seen. It's called Magic. I'm sure I spelled it wrong or said it wrong. It is a tool that does all this in one place. And I'm going to show you this and compare it in a moment to the new tool that came out, because it will do the competitor landscape. It will do the gap analysis. It will create the value proposition all in one place. So in the last couple of weeks, Perplexity came out, and I don't know who has used Perplexity or not. Raise your hand if you're using Perplexity. I just want to show of hands. Like 4 people. Oh, you guys are going to just love this because I'm going to demo it for real. Right now, if you copy this link, JFA Tips Perplexity, you get 1 month complimentary. So you sign up for the pro version. I believe it's $20. And then if you don't want it, just cancel it before the 30 days. But here's what happens. It does an in-depth research. It does analysis. It does strategic planning. All of these in one place. Now, a month ago, I would have been having this conversation focused on Magi, M-A-G-A-I. It does basically the same thing, but Perplexity has taken it to a new level, and I'm going to show you why I now prefer Perplexity over Magi, but you won't be disappointed with Magi. And I am sure Magi's going to catch up because Perplexity just leapfrogged over them, and now they're going to have to catch up. Okay? So I'm going to show you this screen, and then we're going to do it in real time. When you open up Perplexity Pro, you go to the very first little icon, the blue one, and guess what? You get to choose all these models,
Jim, you got to
all
open
from
up your
one
whole
place.
screen. We can't
I'm sorry?
see. You got to open up the screen. You can only see a little piece of it.
Okay, I'm going to do it in real time.
Okay.
I'm just going to stop on this.
Yeah, there you go. It's a little
Okay,
larger.
let me go back. Did that work better?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. So if you saw that first one, that's the furthest one on this group, that was the one that gave you the models. The second one gives you a choice on how Mr. Spock talks to you. The third one is a paperclip where you upload all of Gail's and Joy's books and materials and blogs and podcasts, and Joy's smiling at me going, books? What books? And if you like, you can have it talk to you. And that's the last button. Instead of typing, you can talk to it and it'll talk back to you. And that gets really scary because people walk by and think you're talking to an invisible rabbit, if you remember that. Okay. So here's another tool. I'm only showing you this because all of this has taken away from this company. I'm not sure that they're going to be around because now you get all this in Perplexity. But it took your brand and then married it up with all the things you learned from the SWOT. So I just put that in there because every day AI is changing, every single day. So you can create your brand message, you get your audience, you get your consistency, etc. You can start to think like your customers by going down the customer journey with empathy mapping. Did you hear what I said? Empathy mapping. Understand what your customers think, feel, see, and hear. Whoa. How is it doing that? It's scrubbing their personas on anything where they're talking on Facebook, Twitter, etc., and bringing it back to you so that you can better focus on the deliverables. And you can find the pain point and identify those challenges. So the journey is very simple. It's awareness, it's consideration, it's the purchase consideration, it's the retention, it's the advocacy, etc. It's a AI stack using AI sauce for your burger. Look at this. You get a 360-degree customer view. You get continuous analysis. And their accuracy is now up to 85%. 85%? I still say trust but verify, but 85% is starting to get pretty close. You get data, you get segmentation, you get targeted strategies, all from a tool called Mr. Spock, which in this case, I'm going to identify as Perplexity Pro. You can do the keyword search. You can explore the keywords. You can optimize the keywords. Again, I'm going to give you this deck if you want it, so you don't have to worry about getting all of this. I'm just trying to get you to understand the broad approach that you can get when you spend $20. You are not getting any of this in the free version of any of these programs. Simply not going to happen. At $20 a month, they're trying to get some of their investment back, which is in the tens of billions of dollars. They're entitled to make some money. They've done all the heavy lifting. Pay the $20. You get research. You get the long tail expansion. That means it gives you the long words for better SEO. It gives you a competitor analysis. It helps detect trends. Think about all of this that you're getting for $20. It will take your marketing budget and it will define what you do with your dollars, whatever your product or service is. It will then target it and give you the optimum allocation for everything that you're doing. And it will then help you scale those strategies. and at the end of it, give you an ROI for everything that you're spending money on. It's $20. So if you want alignment, you want messaging, and you want refinement, then I'm going to show you how to do that in the rest of our time together. Because I'm going to show you a holistic strategy, a scenario planning that works across everything. Everything I'm talking about is strictly a prompt in the tool with an end result in mind. Two tools. You all know ChatGPT. Here's the other two tools I'm talking about, Magi and Perplexity. Again, the links will be given to you in the handout. So do me a favor, take your iPhone, scan it. It will take you to this. It'll ask you two questions. While you're doing that, I am going to open up another window and I'm going to show you Perplexity in real time. And by the way, I like it a lot if you give me 100%. Everybody tell me when they're done and we'll go to the other screen. I don't want to rush you guys. You will get immediately from just filling out the form, you'll get a 10-page handout of everything we talked about, all the links we talked about, all the prompts we talked about, the questions you should be asking, 10 pages to really take your business into the next level. Just give us a thumbs up when you're done.
Jim, we'll share it in the notes. Well, you'll have the link anyway, but we can share it out to the organization as well. For
Okay,
those who
everybody
can make
got it? Well, so I can do live?
Yeah.
Thank you, guys. I'm going to stop the share so I can grab the other image. Okay. Be prepared. Can we see the screen? Yes? Did I lose you guys?
We can see it just fine.
You can see it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep,
Okay.
can see it.
I'm sorry, I didn't see anybody. All right, Joy. Unmute yourself. I'm just randomly picking on you. If you don't want to do it, you pick on someone else. Let's ask Mr. Spock a question or to do something.
We'll pick something that he should be able to do. So how
No,
about
no, anything. Go ahead.
what's his favorite breed of dog?
No. I want you
Oh, make
to
it
ask it
tough.
to do
Make it
something,
tough.
a task. Sorry, I wasn't clear.
Gather every team that has won a Super Bowl and rank them in order of the number of games won.
And which one of those organizations has a woman running it at the top?
None, but that's a different thing. So
Well, but you never know. There might be some women who are senior leaders in there.
I actually am friends with the first woman who played in the NFL, so I can answer that question if there's so anyway.
I am making this a little tougher, right? I just added a little more to it, right?
Oh, there we go.
All right. I get to choose what tool I want to use to find it. I'm just going to let, in this case, Mr. Spock pick it. I'm going to come over here and decide, is it academic, social, or finance? Not really. I don't have anything to upload. I'm just going to click the button. Watch. First of all, it's telling you that it is checking 12 sources. Can you guys see the screen?
Yep.
Okay, someone else using this, give me a more detailed, if you want more detailed year break, okay? So let's do that. I'm just going to copy more. All I'm doing is copying it and say, yes. Remember, I'm talking to it. Provide. Boom.
How about ranking them by salary or pay?
Okay. Who are we ranking? The quarterback?
MVP, well, I guess the MVP is typically the quarterback, right?
All right. So let's say
Always.
rank the compensation of the MVP for all of the above. Now, this is important. I'm having a conversation. I don't want Mr. Spock to think I'm going in a different direction. So I always refer to the conversation I'm having. If I said rank the compensation of the MVPs, it could go off on tennis players. It could go off on baseball. It could go off anywhere. You see what I'm saying? So always think of it as an assistant when you're asking it the questions. I'm putting my hands up so you can see that I'm not doing anything. Because somebody said, well, Jim is typing the answers like I could type this fast, but never mind. Okay. So let's scroll down.
That is definitely incorrect.
Yeah.
That's what they win for MVP, not for their salary, I think.
It's the
Yeah.
win. See up here, it's the win.
Not the
Okay.
salary.
Okay, so let's do that again. Using the above rank salary. Sorry, I was not clear. I want the information for each person from the above question. I'm sorry. $317 million? I'm doing something very wrong here.
No, actually, that's actually career earnings. That would be correct.
That's what it says.
Brady,
Up
but it would
here,
be
career-
incorrect for some of the other people that
Yeah.
are on the list.
I thought, Jim, you meant you were doing something wrong in your career as far as salary
That's what I'm
goes.
saying. I didn't make newsflash. I did not make $317 million this year. Yeah. Okay. If desired, would a rank list be helpful? Yeah, sure. Why not? Copy. Provide. Now, let me show you a couple of things before we look up here. Can you see this?
Yes.
Click. Now it's given me all the sources that it used to give me that information. So if I don't believe it, or I need to check it, or I need to confirm it, it's giving me all the backup to it. When you click steps, it's showing me how it got to where it was going. So this just depends on what you're trying to accomplish with the output.
Now, Jim, there's hallucination in many of a number of these programs out there.
Yes, yes.
So if you said Spock, since it's your Spock, I don't believe you. How accurate is this information? Please tell me the truth. Or what's the best way to make sure that you're getting the correct information as opposed to just hoping that it's researched things properly. Of course, this is Perplexity, which is versus GPT. And how would you say Perplexity differs from ChatGPT in this type of information?
Well, first of all, you get to choose which one of these you want. See, I'm not using ChatGPT.
Right. You can
So
if you want to.
You can choose whatever you want. I can
Right.
turn this off and I can pick it to Gemini and say, give me the same information from the last question in a chart. So because we're now asking it to create a chart, it does take a little longer.
Mhm.
So one of the things with every language learning model is called a token. Think of the token as the money you put in a parking meter. You can only put in so many tokens for the parking meter. Then you got to wait for it to go away and then put it in again. Same thing happens with language learning models. Every one of them have a different number of tokens before they stop saying whatever they're going to say. So here's the last piece of advice. Whatever you ask, when you think you're done, say continue. Because it may have more to say to you, but it had run out of tokens in providing you that answer. When you say continue, it refreshes itself and keeps going. I have done things on ChatGPT and said continue 12 times before it stops
So the
delivering.
tokens only work per query as opposed to a full stack of chats.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
I just wanted to clarify that so people knew.
So
Jim, you said not to start a second conversation. Can you
correct.
go to another window and start a different conversation?
Oh, sure.
Okay, so for those of us who are multitasking, we could have on different windows, different conversations going, and it won't mess it up.
Since you like that, I'm going to give you a link to a tool that does that for you, but I'm going to show it to you real fast. I want to be mindful of time. So if there are any questions of people that have to leave, please ask your questions. If not, I'm happy to stay on as long as you guys want to stay on. Or Nancy lets me, whichever.
I can stay on as long as everybody needs to.
All right, let me stop sharing for just a second so I can put this in the chat, and then I'm going to open this up for you. Okay.
While you're doing that, the other question I have is, so you've shown us many things. You've told us to pay the $20 for ChatGPT, which I do, but it sounds like I could be buying lots of different ones. Am I okay just sticking with ChatGPT?
Here's the fair answer. Most of these models charge $20, and it's only for a month. You're going to find the one that you like the most, and if you're happy with Chat 4 and Chat 5, then fine. Here's the difference. Chat does not tell you its sources. Perplexity does. So
Okay.
I find that I do more with Perplexity these days because I'm like everybody else going, you know what? Maybe I need to get more information. Again, for me, the $20 is worth it. And every month I see my $20 is starting to add up to real money. So there's your answer.
Jim, would
Yeah.
you take a look at Nancy Callahan's question too, as well?
Sure.
She's added that in the chat.
Let me see the question in the chat.
We
Privacy
talked about
settings.
privacy settings, yeah.
Okay. That has become a big issue with everybody.
Mhm.
I'm going to give you my flippant answer and I'm going to give you my real answer. is your stuff so proprietary that in the grand scheme of life, you care? I'm going to be dead before somebody steals my stuff. I know that's going to happen. Now, here's the real answer. If you go into your settings on any of these,
You're
there is
showing
a
up, which is
button.
interesting. In my video.
It's what?
Nothing. I'm just
I'm sorry.
muting somebody. It's okay.
There are settings that will tell you, do not share this information. So in direct, Nancy, yes, you can turn it off and prevent that from happening.
Well, I guess, but then I get into the circular logic of, well, if I want to get my brand out there, then some of the things I actually do want to share. But other things like if I'm prepping for a customer briefing, I don't want to share. So, you know, it's one of these things. I find myself like censoring my prompts so the specific name isn't in there. That's what I'm trying to figure out. Am I getting crazy in my brain, or is it
Do I
actually
know you?
appropriate?
Do I know you well enough to give you my flippant answer?
Well, you already gave me the flippant answer, which is no, but it's like security. Security through obfuscation is not actually the best way to go. So that's
It's one grain of sand in all the beaches of the world. Is it out there? Yeah. I got to know the name of your client. I got to really want to get behind your door. If you're really worried about it, then turn off the setting. Just don't let it go out there. You know, for me personally, I don't care. And I register my trademarks. I copyright everything I do. But the truth of the matter is, by the time it gets to court, I'm going to be, you know, 6 feet
right.
somewhere else. Yeah. So
But I guess, I mean, to answer my own question, I'm sort of starting to think about it. Well, if I put it in a LinkedIn post, then it's fair game. Who cares?
Yeah.
But if it's something that I wouldn't post publicly, let me at least think twice about it. But I've actually never gone in and switched them back and forth. I've just turned it off, the sharing off for now, as I think through this. Okay, thank you. I appreciate
anytime,
it.
not a problem.
Just say-
Yes, Joy.
Yeah.
Hi.
To that. So being the data privacy and cybersecurity expert on this call, I would tell you that if Nancy, you're spot on. If you don't mind that it's in public domain, then it's fine. If it is something that you wouldn't want to be in public domain, then it's not fine. And regardless of turning the settings on or off, just so we are clear, every single EULA for every single platform has a backdoor to that. Anthropic would like to say that they don't share anything, which is technically not true, because there's a provision on the back end that they may use any content which you upload anywhere in their system and can leverage that for improving the ethics and privacy of their platform.
It's everyone's got
which
to
is like,
escape clause.
okay, you basically just told me that you're going to screw me without telling me you're going to screw me.
Right.
Magi's doing
privately.
the same thing too. Yeah, they say it's private, but it's not.
In the process. And I will also tell you that every single platform, that the larger ones that we're talking about, has already been hacked and data has been exfiltrated, because the groups that I'm a part of, this was common practice, and it was a playground at DEF CON a month and a half ago, of showing how quickly and what intellectual property from major corporations and other people was being pulled out.
Right.
It was sad and disturbing all at the same time.
So Joy,
Yeah,
let me ask you the question. Would you answer flippantly, or you know, how do you manage? How do you navigate this,
So for
knowing
me,
the dark side?
I don't include information that I don't want in the public domain. Period.
Okay.
I would,
That's probably the
and
best
most
answer.
companies today, as I'm sure the company you work for, which I will not name here, they have a blacklist, whitelist, right? And there are certain things you're allowed to use and not use. I will tell you, every utility company in the country blacklists all AI tools. They're
Just so you know, Joy, I'm not working for them anymore, so I'm navigating this on my own. I can't
Okay.
rely on the corporate security. So thank you. I don't want to monopolize it, but this was a really important
I'm just saying,
question for me.
if it's something like, if we're talking about basic marketing stuff, obfuscating security through obfuscation, obfuscating the name, things like that, you're giving it generalities, like, you know, I think that's fine. Don't tell it it's a sugar water company based in Atlanta, Georgia, because clearly we'll know what that is.
Here's the Coca-Cola
But,
recipe. Yeah.
You know, at the end of the day, basic information, things like that, you can use it to play what if scenarios without doing it. It's just like we would send a redacted document, right? Same kind of thing.
Okay, that's kind of what I've been doing. Thank you. Thank you very much.
So I just got a grant and they wanted me to sign that I wouldn't use any AI. And I said, no, of course I use AI all the time. So we went back and forth, their lawyer and me. And finally they agreed I could use Claude and they would give me access to their license for Claude because that's what I used. I said I use ChatGPT. So they said, well, Claude has more privacy. They didn't want the intellectual stuff that I was going to produce for them, which once I wrote it, anyone could put it into anything and it would be out there. So I thought it was all quite ridiculous and that their lawyers just had no idea of reality. Am
That's
I right?
interesting.
It just seemed absurd to me.
So Claude was built with the quote unquote fence around everything. But as Joy pointed out,
All
the fence has
penetrable.
got some holes in it.
Yeah.
But they do have a fence. So here's the flip side. Claude is designed for writing. It does real well with writing, but it doesn't search the internet very well because of that fence. So a lot of people have said, well, I tried Claude and it didn't do this, it didn't do that. It intentionally won't do that.
Okay.
So to our point, if you're really worried about the security, don't put it up there in the first place.
I could have
That's
cared
the real
less.
answer. Yeah, well,
Well, the other thing people don't think about, Jim, I think, is that what people don't think about who aren't in the industry, like in the technology industry, anything you put in ChatGPT now also belongs to Microsoft, just so we're clear. Because of the way the license agreement works on the back end with them. So 100% of the source code for OpenAI is available to Microsoft for future use. So you have to think about, like, how do the systems connect to one another at the end of the day. Claude is somewhat more private, Lucy, than other things, but
Okay.
none of the systems are perfect at the end of the day. And each tool, like what Jim's been saying, every tool is going to it's going to behave a little differently, right? Because their LLM is a bit different, and also the structure in how that code is written is different. My personal opinion, I was super happy you showed Perplexity, because from a research perspective, it is hands down the best of those. There's another one that I've used. I don't know if you've ever used it, like Getliner, Linear, right, for research. Lucy, you would probably love that because it's really a PhD model. And it's
What's it
great
called?
for, like, Get Linear. So it's basically a even like PhD candidates and stuff would use it for research. So you have to pick, like what Jim's talking about. You need to go try a bunch of different models and you pick what's right for you, or if you use 2 or 3 for different things.
so again, if it's that critical, don't put it on the internet. That's really the bottom line.
Yeah.
You know, don't stick your hand in the lion's mouth knowing that it hasn't eaten in a week. Does your dog bite? Yes. I wanted to show you this before we go. This is called Chat Playground. I put the link in for you.
That's cool.
What it does is it runs all these tools simultaneously. So you can go up here to the window and you can pick, let's say, Perplexity. You can say, I want DeepSeek. By the way, for research, legal documents, contracts, DeepSeek is phenomenal. But we also have to remember who owns DeepSeek. And now you're giving the Chinese the access, theoretically, to all of your data. And I'm not so sure it's theoretically. I think you really are. But I have found that for legal documents and deeper dives into things like that, it does the best. Now, supposedly, Perplexity is running the DeepSeek language learning model here in the United States, and they don't have the same concerns, but I'm in the camp that Joy's in, going, don't stick your head in the lion's mouth before it's had lunch. Yeah, I just don't believe it. But here, let's do this. We said, who are the best MVP football players of all time? What was their annual earning? Lifetime earning.
Yeah.
How's that?
Sound good.
Okay. Notice They're all now running,
Hmm.
and the answers all come up different, except the same. Now, let's just compare the numbers once we have them. So Perplexity said it was an error. It didn't even process it. But that's a tool for you that will run them simultaneously. And now you can make your comparisons and say, well, let's see here. This guy said Peyton Manning. And this guy said Tom Brady.
Mm.
Interesting?
So now you can do a comparison against it too.
Right.
Yeah.
And let's see what this guy said.
Oh, but it put Peyton Manning as the top player, but the earnings are different. So that's interesting. So so Tom Brady still earned more, but because Peyton Manning has, it's interesting.
Depends upon how
Yeah,
It's
how
just how it answered the question.
Yeah.
So,
That's fair.
I mean, to me, this is kind of fun that you can kind of go in and go, oh, I'm going to take a little from here and a little from here, because each one had a different sort of filter to use them.
It's cool.
Anybody else that has a question that
for you. Yeah,
Joy and I can answer?
And
Wait,
so,
you can't answer. Joy, you can't ask a question. You've got to answer the question.
No, absolutely. So, I mean, I've used a lot of the different tools for different things, and I mean, ironically, a tool that I was a part of putting together now is owned by Amazon, but it was one of the first AI imaging tools that was out there. But my question is, have you played with Grok at all? Because I find it fascinating.
It's gotten a lot better. It was terrible when it came out.
Mhm.
I have found that Grok is much more unfiltered.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Surprise.
yeah, yeah.
But it's unfiltered. But the thing I thought was very fascinating about it is when it comes to things where it is more human-like reasoning, I think it does a much better job, ironically.
Yes, I do too. I do too.
Jim, do you need to pay an additional fee for Chat
Yes.
Playground?
Yes.
Okay. There's probably a free version as well as a paid version, like everything
Yes,
else. It's
here's the only way to look at it realistically.
Test it.
Test the free. Never buy the annual until you run it for a month and see if it's what you want. Don't get locked in. And I have started to come to the belief that you never buy the annual on anything, because everything is changing so quickly that you don't want to get locked into something where the next iteration is so much better and so much more effective. So, I mean,
So here's a question for
Sure,
you. Let's
sure.
say somebody tests the free version. They decide to go for the 20 or 50 or whatever dollar, version. They pay for that monthly. And then all of a sudden, well, I'm not using that so much, so I'll go back down to the free version again. Do you lose all the information that you had while you were paying for it in your chats?
It depends on the tool.
Okay.
It depends on the tool. Here's the thing I will tell all of you to never do. Never dispute the charge and do a chargeback. You do that with ChatGPT, Perplexity, Grok, Gemini, etc., you're blackballed. You can never come back on again.
Ooh.
They take a very hard line approach. They don't care that you stop the subscription. That's okay. But never dispute it. Eat the $20. If it comes up, it says Jim's AI tool, and it really was Grok, and you don't know what it is. Try to find out what it was, but don't dispute it for $20 and ever think you're going to get back to them again.
So
Now,
Jim,
notice,
I'm paying.
sure.
Oh, sorry.
No,
I'm
go
paying
ahead.
$7 for ChatGPT and 20, and I don't know why. And they're coming in on like different bills. I can't figure it out.
Luce, when ChatGPT first came out, it was like AOL. It was like $10. But I would say to you, run the same question in both versions. You're logging onto two different accounts. You can't have two.
I don't even know. Yeah, I don't know which ones they are.
You logged on with two different emails. Because you
Is it
can't
an
have.
add-on to something else? Or
That's a
is the
good question.
$7 one an add-on to another software? Because that's a possibility as
Oh,
well.
could
Yeah.
be.
Can't figure it out. The question is, it's not worth much of my time to figure out the $7, but it's
Here's what I
perplexing.
would do. I would just cancel the $7. Don't cancel the
Okay.
20. I mean, there's still people, believe it or not, that are paying for AOL at
I
$9.95.
know. I had a friend who was.
Hello, people.
Do we have other questions? I don't want to hold people up who have other things to do. And I have one more thing before we do go, just to share, which is kind of fun.
I can stop sharing. Sorry.
No, you're
This is
welcome to.
great.
Have you enjoyed it? Have you benefited from what's gone on so far? Great. So before we go, I've got one fun little thing to share, and I will share my screen. This is not to deal with programming or anything brilliantly intelligent, but it is something fun that I've used from a visual perspective for one of my podcasts and shows, and I promised I would share this. So let me go back in here, share my screen. These are AI generated. Can you see it?
Not yet.
No.
Oh,
There.
no, stop sharing. Okay, you're getting the wrong screen. Sorry. You're getting all my other inside stuff there. There we go. Got it? Yeah.
No, double click, it says.
Double click. Is it double
That's the
click?
same thing.
It's the same thing. Why is it not going?
You're eating a cockroach?
I'm eating a cockroach.
How did you do that?
So that is, and then the other image is not Julia,
Julia
and it's
Child,
not Jacques. Those were totally AI created, and that is a picture of me eating a cockroach or something disgusting. I entered several pictures of myself. I told it what to do. This was ideogram, I think it was, or I may have done it on ChatGPT. Julia was ChatGPT.
Did you mean ideogram? Ideogram?
Ideogram, thank you, as opposed to idiotgram. But I have had a number of people say, "Did you really eat that bug?" And I said, "If that's what you want to think, yes, I ate the bug." So just a little fun side things that you can be creative with. It has nothing to do with strategy.
And if you want to do a PowerPoint, which AI do you use?
I, first of all, and I'm sure Joy will agree, the worst ones using AI is a company called Microsoft. For whatever reason, they just can't get it right. They try, but for me, the PowerPoint that you just saw, I did in Gamma, and I can put the link in for you. I like Gamma for a couple of reasons. Did you notice on the slides there was some animation on the still images, which kind of makes it more interesting? But it doesn't have all the bells and whistles that PowerPoint has. So there's a trade-off. If you want transitions, if you want all of the fly in, fly out, PowerPoint's great. So I create it in Gamma, and then I move it to PowerPoint, where PowerPoint screws up all the fonts and everything else, and I got to go in and re-edit every single slide. But what Gamma does very, very well is create the images and the animations. I have tried doing animations and images in Microsoft PowerPoint, and it is amazingly terrible.
Thanks.
And then without spending any time, if you want to really have some fun, and I'll put the link in again, it's called Notebook LM. It's a Google tool. And you take whatever you've got, upload it, and it starts having a conversation, like two people are sitting in a coffee shop talking about you. Joy, I don't know if you've been on it lately, but it will now create a video.
Yeah, it was funny. A buddy of mine sent that to me like a couple of weeks ago, and I was like, "Oh, that's cool. Let me go play with that." Yeah.
Except the images of the video are amateurish. They are terrible images. Once again, they came up, this is Google, they came up with something and probably are having a fight with Microsoft and haven't come up with their own way to generate the images. But again, I'm on this all day long playing with it. So
I was going to
You
say,
can
you're
also
playing all the time.
interact with it now, by the way. You can interact with Notebook LM. So when the two people are talking, you can ask a question if you go into interactive mode, which is super fun.
it's again, there's a tool for pretty much everything if you're willing to learn how to use it and what it does well and doesn't do well. I mean, that's the end of the day.
Jim, I believe you have a list of links that you'll share, or that you say you would share, or do you want to send them to me, or do
The
you want to
the
post?
links are in the handout.
Okay.
When you fill out the handout, it comes to you. There's a 10-page deck.
Handout. I do not have the. You just put in the.
No. If you did the QR code,
Oh, okay. All right.
if you just
Okay.
responded to that, it comes to you immediately.
Okay. Do you want to put that up there again so people?
Sure.
Okay.
Has this been helpful, guys? I mean, worth your time, I hope.
Very. Thank you so much.
Thank Nancy.
Thanks,
She said-
Nancy.
Good. You're an excellent presenter, Jim. I think for people who hadn't used a lot of these tools and stuff, I think it was excellent content. Really, really good. And I
Thank
enjoyed
you.
it. So I'm like,
I
Wow.
would also ask everybody if there are other things on the AI front that would be useful from an everyday perspective. I'll say everyday in business that you would like to dive into. Jim has offered to come back and do that for us if you're interested. So we'll just ask you to send that information either to myself or Tanya.
Let me just throw out one other question. So I work in higher ed where schools are very perplexed about the whole thing. And there's things saying if you hand in something using AI, it's plagiarism. And, or don't write this letter, and I don't know how they can figure it out. It just all seems that people are just sort of treading their way through what it is and putting in ridiculous rules. It reminds me of when my son was in 3rd grade. He used the computer and typed his papers, and his teacher marked them all as Fs because she thought she had gone and cheated and stolen them off the internet.
Luce,
yeah.
I know you may not be old enough to remember when you couldn't bring a calculator into class.
I remember.
Right. It's just, so you think it's just people, just the way the lawyers on my contract said you couldn't use AI, not understanding what it's doing and where it's going.
Once again, my flippant answer is they're going to use it whether you tell them not to use it or not. So the real trick is, fine, use it, but tell me what your real thoughts are. Are you using it? Was it cheating when you went to the library and looked up things in the Encyclopedia Britannica? This is really no different. The trick here is for people to not submit it and claim that they created it out of their own brains or whatever. That's not happening anymore. I mean, I can't draw a straight line. I can create some great looking images, but I don't claim to have created them. I mean, I think Joyce summed it up. She goes, I've seen a lot of presentations. Some of them are terrible, and they probably used AI.
Got it.
I mean, one of the things that I do, believe it or not, when I'm done with the presentation is I ask AI to evaluate the presentation. I upload it and say, if you were sitting in here and you were a lady executive, blah, 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 what else would you like to see? And it will say, okay, you know what? Change this, change that. I use AI to help me make things better at almost everything I do.
Well, as an aside, I use it to do travel itineraries, and it can do amazingly good ones.
It's fantastic.
Off the beaten places in no time flat.
And the next time you do it, ask it to provide a video. It will give you video links to YouTube or whatever to highlight it. I'm thinking of seeing, whatever, and here it is. Here's the koalas.
Cool.
Ladies, any other questions while we're all here? Because I just want to be mindful of your time. And can you see the QR code and everything? I left it on the screen.
so Lucy, some of the universities have embraced this. Some have, like, not from a contractual perspective. That's a legal thing. That's a different issue. But for students, a lot of the universities now, professors who understand the tools and are using them are teaching their students how to use them correctly. So there's limits on what you can and can't do, as there should be from a student's perspective. But the tools are there, right? Now, I've seen a few universities, you're saying they're restricting all the use, and I'm like, that's hilarious because—
Have you read, they bought blue books. One university bought 50,000 blue books.
Yeah, you know what the thing
Remember those days?
yeah, but I mean, it makes no sense, right?
I,
Like
I agree. It makes no sense. They're
you can't
scared.
prevent it. So you need to talk about, what's ethical, what's not ethical, like how do you use it? How do you use it as a tool? It's a tool. It's not a replacement, it's a tool. And so
Well, the dilemma
Yep.
is faculty have to change how they teach. If much teaching is requiring someone to write a paper about something, you ask me to write, I will put it into AI, give them my prompts and keep fixing it. Now, I didn't write it. AI wrote it with my intellectual, something from me. But some faculty will totally rate you down. So faculty have to be creative about what they ask students to do so that you can't just put it in AI and get the answer. But it's a new world out there. But Jim, your analogy about the calculators, when schools aren't teaching students to do penmanship anymore, because who writes, by hand? Or do you need to know how to do a square root?
And without trying to be controversial, I think a lot of the resistance is the fact that tenured professors don't want to change the way they've been doing things, and it would require them to learn things or spend time learning
Absolutely.
the tools, and they just don't want to do it. I've been working with a university that until recently was spending a meeting every week with the department trying to prevent people from using AI. Trying to prevent them from using AI.
Mm-hmm.
What a waste of
I
time.
can't believe it.
What a waste of time.
Yeah, the students that are graduating and knowing how to do this are getting hired with a higher salary.
But I see I'm going away from this, session saying, oh my gosh, there's so much more I need to learn. I have to do, and then I have to learn. And how much time am I saving in using the AI versus getting better at it by learning Perplexity and Magi and all of these different ones and getting the best ones? Or do I just stick with what I'm using and say it'll do? So I'm feeling conflicted now as to, what I invest in the learning time and how much that reduces productivity in the short run.
What are you using it for, Luce?
Whether it's my itinerary, whether it's writing thank you notes, I do CFO searches, whether it's writing the note to turn them down when they don't get the job, in my data to organize it, to analyze it. So a whole lot of different things.
So for writing, try Claude.
Okay, well, I have to. So it's my
Yeah.
next step for my grant, or I'll get in big trouble.
Yeah. Anybody else?
Well, let's call it an evening.
Yes.
And
Thank you,
Jim.
yeah.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Jim. This was
Take care.
really
Nice
great.
meeting you.
Great dialogue.
Thank you. If I can just give a postscript,
Please.
I'm long retired and I just want to know and understand and be informed as to what's going on. And so I think tonight's session did that. Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, you can use the tools to help you with that as well. Right?
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
so thank you, Jim. It's been terrific. If you did not get the QR code, please let us know. Well, it'll be in the presentation, the recording as well. And if you have further questions, we can certainly forward them on to Jim, or we can have him back for another session if that is of interest as well.
I think we need a 2.0.
Okay, all right. Well, Joy, you and I will
He's going to send more cockroaches.
Sorry, I'm not showing my face because I had to kind of work while I was listening, but I was like, quick, take a picture, and I love the dialogue because that's where all these questions,
Right.
it makes it real, like how you use it, the concerns. So thank you.
Well, maybe we'll have to do a 2.0 a new and improved AI sauce or A1 sauce or whatever.
Or what have we done with it lately? Actually, there was just an email I read about, like, I have kids that are being launched, and just like with the AI, the entry-level jobs that teach, even this is at the big, I can't think of it's a consulting firm. I can't think.
Here's the important piece of news. The Chinese government is now requiring 200 million Chinese students to learn AI.
That's what this article basically said. It said okay, the same firm that uses like develops their consultants through these entry level jobs. Like if you have the AI to bring to it as well as then get the experience about their organization and everything else for their global operations, like that's what's going to be the deal changer for getting a position.
And
So-
US math and reading levels have gone down to the lowest in ever. And
Terrible.
unfortunately, or fortunately, you still have to read and understand a certain amount of logic in order to use
Yeah.
these things. So
Yeah.
I think
So I'll say one thing for Carol, for something that's fun that you can do that I love doing. If I have to write a thank you note, I do it in ChatGPT and then I tell it to put it in Shakespearean verse or in E.E. Cummings, and people love it. And they know I didn't, and I acknowledge where it came from. But that's something you can do that's fun.
Now,
Thank you.
now, Lou, since you're using ChatGPT, go into Sona, S-O-N-A, and it'll create a song for you out of that poetry.
Oh,
oh, so yeah. If I did that for one of my shows, and I wrote a song about the mighty Quinn, who is has eaten everything from rat poison to razor blades. He is my dog. And he is now 13 and a half years old. So he has managed to survive. And maybe I'll put that in some of the notes below, but it's
He
pretty
is
cute.
super dog now. He
He
truly
is
the mighty
super dog.
Quinn.
Yeah, the younger dog actually didn't make it tonight. He passed away not too long ago, but he the 13-year-olds, yeah, just the 13-year-old keeps but chomping and keeps on licking.
pretty.
So thanks.
Thank you all. Take care
Thank
and
you
have a
for
great evening.
organizing.
Night.
this, and
Thank you.
thank